That's what we're going to dive into today. If you had a magic helper that could fix it all with a single click. Well, that kind of magic helper is exactly what we're talking about today. A tool called Windsurf. It's basically a smart notebook for all your code. Now, there's a fancy term for this, and you might hear it around, agentic IDL. I know it sounds super complicated, but trust me, the idea is really simple. Think of the difference between a dictionary and a personal tutor. A dictionary just gives you definitions, but a tutor actually understands what you're trying to do, what your goal is, and actively helps you get there. That's Windsurf. It's not a dictionary, it's a tutor for your code. So let's really break down the difference here. With a regular notebook or normal coding, you're doing all the heavy lifting. Every single word, finding every single mistake, it's all on you. But with a magical Windsurf notebook, it's a whole different ballgame. You just give it the main idea. It helps find and fix those mistakes. And yeah, going back to our school report problem, it can change that character's name everywhere, all at once. All that boring stuff is just handled. Okay, so this AI super tutor idea sounds pretty cool, right? To really get how it works, let's put it into a story. Imagine for a second that you're not writing code. You're actually writing a giant epic storybook. All right, so you're writing your story and you get this amazing idea. You want to add a brand new character, a cool new hero to the entire thing. Now, normally that's a ton of work, isn't it? You'd have to go through every chapter, figure out where they show up, what they say, but with this AI tutor, you don't do any of that. You just tell it the big main goal. And this is where it gets really, really cool. The tutor doesn't just go wild and start changing things randomly. Nope. First, it stops and it thinks. It actually comes up with a plan, a step-by-step guide, and shows it to you. It shows you the whole plan before it touches anything. That is so important. And this is key. You're still the boss. You're the author of this story. You get to look at the plan it made. And only if it looks perfect, then you give it a big thumbs up and say, let's do it. You are always in control. You get the final say, because it's your project after all. So you've approved the plan. And then, poof! Like magic, the tutor instantly updates your entire storybook. The new character is in chapter 1, they're in the finale, their dialogue is there, all of it. Hours and hours of work just done. It's pretty incredible. Okay, so it feels like magic, but how does it actually work? What's going on behind the scenes? Well, it's not really magic, it's just a really smart process. So let's break down the simple steps to how this all happens. It's really just 4 simple steps. Step 1, you give a command. You just say what you want in plain English, like, hey, change my app's color scheme to blue. Super simple. Step 2, Windsurf makes a plan. The AI thinks for a second and then shows you exactly which files it's going to change to make that happen. Then, step 3, and this is the important one, you review and approve. You're the director here. You check the plan, and if it looks good, you give it the green light. And finally, step 4, the AI does all the work. It makes all the edits across the entire project, all for you. See? It's like you and the AI are a team. All right, that was a lot of information, I know. So if you're going to remember just 3 big things from all of this, let's make it these 3. These are your main takeaways. First, remember that this is a thinking helper. It's not just a spell checker, you know? It actually understands your whole project, the big picture. Second, it's here to save you from all that boring, repetitive work so you can focus on the fun stuff, the creative parts of coding. And number 3, probably the most important of all, you are always the boss. You give the instructions, you approve the work, you're in charge. So that brings us to the final question, and it's a really fun one. Just imagine if you didn't have to worry about all the boring, frustrating parts of coding. What would you build? What amazing project is in your head right now that you could create if you had your own personal super tutor for code? The possibilities are pretty incredible to think about. Thanks so much for joining me today.